Three, two, one. We're live.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to CampusCare Ed Talks presented by Entab. So, as we adapt to a new way of life today, many of us are totally dependent on technology. As we are excited about new and positive changes in work area, we are also concerned over a few things. So, in these times of uncertainty, education has completely shifted to online mode, and the issue of cyber safety of students in online education is one of the primary concerns that must be focused upon. So, to talk about cyber safety in remote learning, we have with us an experienced school leader with over 2 decades of active involvement with students. In past, she has served as a principal for more than a decade and is the founder principal of highly ranked Sadbhavna World School at Kerala. For her excellent work, she has been bestowed with Computer Literacy Excellence Award from former President of India, Dr. Abdul Kalam, and she has also been awarded with two commendations from the Commander in Chief of India Navy. So please welcome Nikita Tomar, ma'am, Tagore International School to Entab Campus Care Ed Talks. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you.
Ma'am, as we're talking about security and cyber safety, with the online increase, with the increase in online learning, we have seen that there is also an increase in cyber attacks. So, according to you, what are the most common cyber security threats which a school and its students are susceptible to?
Um, Thank you very much for the question, because cyber safety is something that most students and most schools have somewhere along the way not focused a lot on. The focus initially when we moved into online teaching was primarily on which platform to use and how to go about online teaching. And somewhere along the way, we did not lay focus on the fact that you had to also look into cyber security, because all the students were now in the cyberspace. So the most, what do you say, the pertinent threat that one faces when one is on an online platform is the fact that the students can, change their identities. They can move into the cyber world where some other class is going on. There's some outsider who can gate crash into the online classes of any school. There are people who can get in touch with students who are young. So you have basically exposed yourself to everything that is out there in the cyber world. It's very, very important for students, parents, and the educators to understand that this is a space which, offers you a lot, but at the same time, it also increases the perils that face you when you're in this space. So these are the threats that the students face. We've had students who are cyber stalked now by students from other schools. We have students who hack the identity of another student and is entering into other classes. They change their identity and enter into any program that the school is hosting online, because you have maybe 200, 300 students out there. They can post any kind of, profanities, any kind of nonsensical remarks in the chat boxes. So there is a lot of cyber threat that's lurking out there, and we need to be a little cautious as we proceed with the online classes. And definitely, it is a space to watch out for.
So, ma'am, according to reliable data, there are about 71 million kids in India, aged between 5 to 11 years, who uses devices of their family members for online classes or sometimes, for gaming. So, this age group is possibly the most vulnerable. So, how to teach them the do's and don'ts of e-learning?
So when we started, see, we do not believe in online classes for the very young. So right from our nursery to class 2, we are sending recordings of lessons that the teachers have already recorded, and we are sending it across to the students to sit and do with their parents as and when they have the time, because even parents are working. So we do not expect such young kids to actually sit with a device and learn to operate it themselves. So that age group is out. But yes, third upwards, we do have online classes, maybe about an hour and a half or 2 hours of classes every day. Now, in these classes, the first thing that we did was we got a cyber, do's and don'ts signed by the parents, and for them to explain to the kids. Along with that, the first class that the teachers have had with the class, that was the first thing that they did. They told them how to mute the mics, how to switch off their videos when the class is going on, only to switch it on when they need to ask something or they have to answer something, to ensure that they do not interrupt when somebody else is answering. So there were a lot of do's and don'ts that was explained to the students. They were taught the basic operating method for Google Meet, because that is the online platform that we use. It's a safe platform. We did not go for Zoom as a platform. So that was one thing that we took a decision on. And then having a lot of cyber safety workshops for the parents as well as the students. So for the younger age group, it is more about, because they are not only for the classes, even otherwise, once they are online, I mean, the parents may be here and there, then they again are into so many things, like you said, gaming and things like this. So cyber safety workshops to tell them that, through games, there's a lot of data that can go out. You are unsafe, what to look out for, what are the things that you should not, when there are ads popping up, what you should not click on. So those are the little things that we did as a workshop with the kids to keep them safe.
So, ma'am, what your school has taken to ensure, what measures your school has taken to ensure, cyber security?
So the first thing that we did right when we started our online classes in April was we had drafted a cyber safety policy for the school. So we had somebody from the government of India who is into cyber crimes. Thankfully, is a parent of ours. He helped us out to draft out certain policies which are applicable to minors, because the students would come under the minor category. So cyber safety policy and all the legal implications for the the adults is out there, but for the minors, they needed to first know that what are the dangers which are lurking. Two, to know that in case, despite being informed about it, if they still venture into that area and still try and act funny, in the cyberspace, or try and impersonate somebody else, hack their identity, try and gate crash into some classes, or write some remarks which are unwanted and unwarranted, what will be the repercussions? So little, guidelines were laid down for them, and also that in case you are caught and you are identified, that you will be suspended from online classes for a couple of days till you understand and introspect and realize that where you went wrong. Parents also were asked to go through the policy and sign. And just for the information, the legal implications of the entire policy was discussed with the parents, so that they are able to tell their words that these are the legal implications. Right now, you are minors, but somewhere you are on the brink of adulthood, because 11th and 12th are almost there. And you need to understand that any kind of behavior in the cyberspace is not that nobody will know what's happening. You can be identified through agencies, and there are repercussions which are associated with it. So with that understanding, we started with our online classes. And by and large, I mean, by God's grace, we really not faced too much issue. One or two initially, when we had, students thought that they can, teachers assign classes to students every day. So there's a mail that goes to them that, this class is organized at so and so time. The link goes to them. So one odd time, there were kids who shared that link with some other friend, and their friend from another school tried to, enter the class. But then teachers are able to identify the email IDs. They know the names. They have told the students that your email IDs will be with your names. Do not keep any, fancy name like. Sometimes they just keep any, Doraemon or any such thing which you are not able to identify. So they were able to identify these children who were not supposed to be a part of the class. We were able to identify which is the child who shared the link, and we were able to talk to the entire class and inform them that you can be caught, and these are the repercussions. And we asked the kid to abstain from online classes for 2 days, and they did understand. So with that, I think everybody in the school understand that we can be caught, and it is not as simple as not being able to get identified online. So these are the few measures that we took to ensure safety. Yes.
Great, ma'am. So, ma'am, as you know that an adolescent mind is very frivolous. So, what steps can parents as well as the teachers can take to maintain a healthy cyber atmosphere?
So, like I said, few are the precautions that they need to take. Secondly, to constantly reiterate to the students every now and then. See, at the end of the day, they are students and they are kids. So, somewhere along the way, they've understood something, but after a while, they start getting bored. So, they feel experimental and they want to try something new. And then some friend would have told them that, if you do this, maybe you will not be identified. So, they want to go out there and explore all of that. So, it's very important that as teachers and as parents, we keep reiterating to them what can go wrong, and and that they cannot go unnoticed in case they try any stunts, and that there is no reason for you to be, hiding your identity and trying to enter into a space which you are not supposed to be in. Because also to prize them that social media is another area where now students spend a lot of time because they're not able to move out. This is the space that they're using to get in touch with their friends. So all that socializing which used to happen in school where they would physically meet each other, or in the evening where they go out and play, is now happening on social media. So we had to tell them about the repercussions of being on the social media. There are a whole lot of unwanted people who are out there who are basically looking to entice young children. So if pedophiles are there, children need to understand these. So all these were basically explained to the kids through a lot of workshops which keep happening off and on, and including about which games are dangerous, which games not to use. PUBG is a game that we particularly took up with the students and we told them, and I'm glad that we were able to do that much before it was actually banned, because that kind of helped. We've seen there are some kids who almost went into a kind of a depression because PUBG was banned. There were kids who were for 2 3 days telling their teacher that I can't sleep, I can't study, I can't focus, I can't understand why they have done this. So you can imagine the level of addiction that has happened in kids. So constantly talking to them, counseling them, advising them, telling them about different things that are happening to people around them so that they can learn from others' experiences. I think this is the way to go forward. There is no perfect way to do it.
So, ma'am, as you just talked about social media and banning the PUBG and gaming and everything, so what approach parents must go, about with without infringing on kids' privacy?
So what we tell the parents, and when we've been doing these workshops, we do for the parents separately and we do for the kids separately, because there are a lot of things that we like to tell the parent which we don't want the kids to know. Otherwise, it's an open thing, and they know, okay, my parents have been told to look out for this. Now I'll look out whether they are doing this to me or not. So it's so what we have advised the parents is that you cannot completely abstain from social media. It is the order of the day. It is something that everybody is into. This generation is into social media, but just to keep a check about the kind of friends they have, how many Instagram accounts they have. For instance, like when you talk to the kids of this generation, they're on Facebook. I mean, when they hear of Facebook, they look at all of us as if, like we belong to another world. Facebook is not meant for us. You're into Insta, and Snapchat. So what are you talking? And Insta is not something that parents are mostly into, unless they are the younger lot where they are kindergarten and first standard, second standard parents, they are also on Insta. But the older parents where the kids are in 11th and 12th, they are on Facebook. They are not sharing the same social media space. So they have no idea what the kids are doing. They have multiple Instagram accounts. They have some private accounts. They have accounts where they're posting a lot of their pictures which are in the public domain. So just an information for them through these workshops to tell them that even on Instagram they need to be careful, because a lot of people who are lurking out there, their pictures and their data can go public. Discord server is one thing that the students use very often, and especially the ones who are doing computer science and who are into gaming and all, use Discord server as a medium. And Discord server is an open, it's like an SMS service. So without the net, also they're able to get in touch with their peers. They use it for use of unfair means in tests that we have been holding for. So we have to send a circular out to parents to tell them that, are you aware that there's some such thing? And are you also aware that once the child is on Discord server, all your data, information, which is private, has gone already public and it stays in the cyberspace forever. Your pictures. So would you like your pictures and your data to be out there in the public domain with your kids? Because then you are, susceptible and vulnerable to a lot of cyber crimes. So these are the things. So there has to be an element of a little fear that has to be instilled in the parents and the students for them to understand that this is not something you can take lightly. You need to tread cautiously. You can't abstain from it. Enjoy it, but be careful. Is what.
And ma'am, recently there has been upsurge in nuisance related to online classes. What are the guidelines and reprimand you suggest should be undertaken by the school?
So, things I tell juniors, there is no way that we can have anything more than 2 hours of classes, which went along a long way to ensure safety in the online classes.
And ma'am, as the parenting is evolving, And crimes like cyberbullying and trolling can affect really small kids.
Yes.
How parenting needs to change in these times?
I think we've spoken a little about this, that awareness about what can go wrong is very important for the students. See, parents also need to know. A lot of parents are not very social media savvy. A lot of parents are not very internet savvy. So for them, it's a very fancy thing to see their kids, actually operating laptops and working out of laptops and studying. So they suddenly feel that, okay, my kid is like absolutely in sync with the latest that's there in the world. But little realizing that with that latest, there are so many things that can go wrong. So we have to educate the parents through the cyber safety workshops and tell them that this is okay, this is wonderful because it gives you a lot of information and knowledge. But along with it, there is a lot of danger that lurks out there. So be cautious, inform your kids, keep a tab on what they are doing. Do not leave them completely free all the time, and keep certain for smaller kids especially, you have these the safety locks that you can have on certain sites that they cannot visit. All that can be done, and you can look at their history to see what all they are visiting. So little things that parents can do without really infringing on their privacy, but to ensure that their kids are safe. It is important because at the end of the day, look at their age group. They are not so mature. They do not understand everything, and that's what we are here for as adults.
And ma'am, moving on, there is cyber wellness is a phrase that is quite popular these days. And there is an urgent need to develop cyber safety as a culture. So how can schools work on nurturing etiquette, cyber hygiene, or sensitivity to all the kids?
I think from when we started in the month of April to where we are right now, things have really changed. I think students, parents, educators, everybody has learned along the way. So a lot of these aspects have started making sense to every stakeholder in the school education, parents, teachers, as well as students. So there is a lot of awareness about what is cyber hygiene. There's a lot of awareness about cyber wellness. How much, I mean, cyber wellness includes everything: how much time to spend on screen, how to use it effectively, right from even the posture that you have when you are on screen time. So there's a lot of wellness aspects that have been covered through all the sensitization programs that the school has done, and a constant talk that is given to the students. So I feel that somewhere we have reached a certain level where we can say that yes, people are aware of this: students, teachers, as well as parents, all the three categories. Yes.
Great. Ma'am, so before ending the webinar, would you please pass on any message to your students or parents regarding cyber parenting or cyber security?
So what I would just want to tell all the students, all the parents out there is that we've unlocked the potential of the cyberspace. We've unlocked the potential of being on the internet. But along with that, we've opened the Pandora's box. There's so much out there which is positive, and there's so much out there which is not so good. So let's tread cautiously. Let's not go overboard in our exploration of the net. At the same time, let's be smart, because I would say students belong to this generation, and this generation is supposed to be a very smart generation. So use all the knowledge and information that you have to stay safe, to be experimental with caution, to explore social media, and not from the point of view of connecting with your peers, but not from the point of view of putting out information out there which can be misused by outsiders, which will land you into trouble. So on that note, I think here's wishing all the parents and the students and the educators a lot of cyber safety and a lot of good luck for the online classes and the cyber world.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much for your time. And
You're most welcome.
all the insights that you've shared with us, and all the thoughts and all the cyber security measures that you've taught us. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you. Good day. Thank you. It was a pleasure being here. Thank you.